I'm not even kidding you. I have not worn this vest probably since the last review of Stranger Things Season 4. So, like, it's been a while. Stranger Things 5 takes place in the fall of 1987 with the rifts in Hawkins still open and the heroes united to find and kill Vecna. It is very late for me, but you know, it's been long enough. I have been very excited to finally talk about Stranger Things 5. The final season has begun. We are talking Volume 1, of course, because Netflix decided we want a lot of money, so we're going to split up in 3 parts, but we'll talk a little bit about that toward the end of the video. So, let me get this straight up off the point. This review is going to be very wonky because there's going to be no grade because it's only part 1 of the final season. There won't be spoilers for this first part of the video, but I will get into spoilers, more about episode 4, theories and such. This is going to be a fun video. I want a lot of discussions in the comments below, but let's start with a non-spoiler first. Let's get my first reaction thoughts of just Volume 1. Okay, so Season 5, it's been 3 years since Season 4. I am so glad they gave us a 3.5 minute previously on Stranger Things because I thought about rewatching the show, but I did not. So, Season 5, Volume 1, how is it? I mean, I gotta say, if you're a Stranger Things fan like me, where I've grown up with this show, the show started, I believe, like when I was in high school. It's been going for a long time, and for what this long gap of 3 years to wait on this season, just seeing the quality of the show, I gotta give a big round of applause. My goodness, this show. I mean, just first off, the production value, the costume design, the cinematography. This show looks absolutely gorgeous. I got to watch it, of course, on 4K on Netflix, on a big screen TV, surround sound, and it's such a well-made show. Obviously, that 80s theme, the 80s setting, really did change a lot in Hollywood the last 10 years because of Stranger Things. People were like, ooh, people like 80s stuff, let's do 80s movies, 80s, 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 and so you gotta give it up to Stranger Things, and that continues in this show. It's extremely well done in all these 4 episodes. All 4 episodes were well directed by, of course, the first 2 were the Duffer Brothers who created the show. Frank Darabont directed episode 3, and then of course episode 4 was directed by Sean Levy, who has done every episode 4 of the series and Deadpool and Wolverine. But basically, I can tell you just the production value of this show is high budgeted. It wouldn't shock me if they come out and say like each episode is $45 to $50 million. Some, like episodes 2 and 3 might have been like 20 million, but episode 1 and 4 were definitely like 40 million plus because the CGI in the show is fantastic. I mean, I'm currently watching the It show, which that CGI sucks. This show, on the other hand, this is high budget quality. I mean, there is very good CGI in this movie. All of the Demogorgons look amazing. If you go back and watch season 1, you can see such an upgrade in the CGI. It's insane. Now, again, this is non-spoiler, but this part of Volume 1, we now have no more 5 different subplots across the country. No more California, no more Russia shit. We all are completely in Hawkins County, and it's not going good because basically after season 4 and all the cracks happened with the upside down coming through to the real world, the military has shut it down. They put metal on all those cracks, and now the military is controlling Hawkins, mostly like, hey, we have secrets, you guys can't know anything, you guys can keep on living. And the show does a really good job in episode 1 to just really give out a big layout. Now, it is morally obviously just one of our characters who goes into the radio business, and she's basically explaining everything to the audience, us. And so it's fine. It is what it is. But I will say the writing, for the most part, is good for certain characters. Mostly Will. Will has fully gotten a character arc because a lot of us fans have been like, listen, Will was important in season 1 when he disappeared. Ever since then, he's just kind of been there. And then obviously season 4, we built on a little bit of something that I'll get into. And through 4 episodes, he is very much a very important part on what's going on, what is happening to Vecna, what is going on with all these new surroundings. Without getting to spoilers, I'll get to the spoilers. But basically, I feel like the show does a really good job of just setting groundwork in episode 1. And from episode 1 to episode 4, I believe it was like a 3-day span, which I did not expect. And I absolutely love that they just like, the pace of the show is like, hey, this is the final season. No more new characters are coming in. There are new characters with more arcs to them, but like there's no just brand new characters, at least, except for obviously Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, who's our bad guy government lady. But I feel like the show does a really good job of like, we are in our final season. These are our characters. You're in Hawkins and crap is going down. And so far, I would say episode 4 is my favorite out of the 4 so far. Episode 2 was very good, very intense. Episode 1 is very good, but it's totally more of like a groundwork. It's like, where's everyone at? What's everyone doing? Let's set up what's going to happen. And then literally the end of episode 1 gets intense, and then it goes to episode 2. So episode 2 is where stuff is now introduced, ideas are brought up, and I'm sitting there wondering, I'm like, why are we going for these new kids? Which, again, spoilers, I'll get into in a minute. And then episode 3, more is explored, more is answered, especially with our Vecna character. And then episode 4 builds upon all of it and almost feels like a finale or a mid-season finale. Now we have to wait a month for volume 2. So now that's all I can really say without getting into spoilers. So now let's get into the spoiler half of the video. And for one last time, this is a spoiler warning. If you've not seen volume 1, the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things, I'm going to talk a lot about the ending of episode 4 and little things throughout episode 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Okay. So first things first. Mike Wheeler, thank goodness Finn Wolfhard has like become a better actor, because he was always one of those, he was kind of our main character, except for 11 was our main character. Finn Wolfhard has been very good in these first 4 episodes. Now, I will say, Will Byers, Noah Shep, I know I said his last name wrong, he's finally giving an arc, and obviously the big thing at the end of episode 4, Will has powers. He has 11 powers, and that's a huge thing because right before that happens, season 4 hinted at Will being a gay character. Nothing has been confirmed, no one has said it aloud, but it's being hinted at. And right before they go into these tunnels, he talks to Mike and has that relationship just build, the love of his friendship with Mike. And then, obviously, episode 4, the big action scene, which was a fantastic entrance for Vecna because he hasn't really appeared this season. So finally we get to see Vecna, and obviously he takes Will and he tells him, like, you were the first kid to do this. These new kids that we have, you were the first one. And now he explains a little bit of why he's taking kids, is basically these kids are like young, they can prosper, like they have open minds, they are easy to take basically. So Vecna's basically redoing what he did to Will in season 1. So now Will saves Mike, saves his mom, saves everyone basically by showing off he has powers. And it's moments after finding out like the love of his friendship, because showing that old found footage style of him growing up with his friends, building his camp or his little house that he built. It was a moment of pure like love for him. So the arc of his character is finally being explored, and I love that for the writing team. And I love that for the next half of the season because Will has powers. 11 has powers. Speaking of 11, I will say 11 and David Harper, Jim Hopper, I felt like their plotline was my least favorite. They are literally in the upside down the entire first 4 episodes, basically. And I just felt like 11 had no writing. Like, I thought her character felt very minimal because it's like, all right, 11 has her powers back. She's training to kill Vecna. That's her character arc. And I was like, I'm not loving what they're doing with 11. And then obviously the end of episode 4, you remember all that episode in season 2 with all those random number people with powers that we didn't like? We did not like that episode. Guess what? They have one. The one with the mohawk is back. She's in that secret room. And obviously that's where it ends with that story arc. It's an interesting idea. It makes me feel like, okay, so the writers finally realized we have this one episode that everyone hates. Let's make it work in the show. So I'm open-minded, but again, that episode in season 2 sucked. It just felt like an outlier. So it's cool that they're bringing it back. We'll see what 11 and Hopper does with that. But obviously, she has been mind-controlled. She's being used in this government base that is in the Upside Down, which I thought was a really cool idea that they didn't really explore, basically. It was just like, yeah, now we have our bad guy government people inside the Upside Down. So that could have been more explored, in my opinion. Now, back in Hawkins, there's a lot of plot lines going on. It's not as bad as it was in season 4 because at least our characters are like around each other. Like episode 3, I love that they work together to get the Demogorgon to put the tracker in it. And obviously Steve and Dustin, they drive through. And in episode 4, we only see them in that one episode, that one scene of the church where they're like, hey, we're waiting for Hopper and 11, but that's it for episode 4. So that was a little disappointing, and after the episode ended, I was like, oh man, I really want to know where Steve, Justin, and like, I want to see where Nancy's at, which, by the way, Nancy Wheeler, badass. She's a badass. She's truly a badass. She's probably one of my favorite characters now. I love what they've done with Nancy, and speaking of Nancy Wheeler, and obviously Mike Wheeler, Holly Wheeler is in this dream world, basically that is the dreams and memories of Vecna, and then you have Sadie Sink finally pop up at the end of episode 3. Sadie Sink, I think, is truly the best actor out of all of them, and I'm so glad that she's finally back, even though her character's still in the coma. That plot line I'm intrigued on, but that one to me feels the most messy. That one I'm like, I need more explanation. What's the point here? How are we going to get Holly and Sadie Sink out of this? How are they going to get here? How's this going to affect Vecna? Why hasn't Vecna ever come back to the damn house? Like, I know, like, they've been there and these, like, rocks are keeping them out from Vecna, but I just feel like there's no grit to it. It's just like, oh, yay, Sadie Sink. Holly Wheeler, that we've never really cared about, now we do, which I will say, it is the young actress from Evil Dead Rise. Very good in that movie, very good in the show, and I love that she's like in the Vecna house and she's enjoying being here, but really it's Vecna Henry, which, by the way, this whole subplot with like the mystery in episode 2 of like who was her imaginary friend, very obvious it was Vecna. I just felt like the show wasn't going to introduce another new character, so it was obvious it's going to be Vecna. And at the end of the day, I feel like all these little subplots, yes, there's a lot of plot going on, but at least they're together in Hawkins or the Upside Down. They're not across the country. They're not completely in different areas. There's a lot of little character moments that I really enjoyed, but I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like these first 4 episodes are setting up for, obviously, like, I'll say Will is becoming more of the main character, like his connection with Vecna, him being able to see through the Demogorgons, like Will has finally become a very important piece, and now we know he has powers. That is huge. How are they going to use that? I want to know all the theories down below. What did you think about Volume 1? There's a lot of theories going around, like who's going to die, whatever. I never thought Hopper was going to die in that moment with the bombs. That felt too quick. I'll say this. My death prediction right now is Dustin. I think Dustin's story arc of obviously last season losing his friend, and now he's being bullied, now he's kind of the outcast, I feel like he's the character that's going to end up dying. That's my prediction, is Dustin. I don't want it to be Steve, but it feels like this whole Nancy trio with Jonathan and Steve, it just feels like this love triangle. I didn't like any of that, I'm gonna be honest with you. It just feels like a very like Twilight, Hunger Games, like love triangle. I'm not for it, but hopefully these characters do reunite so we get back to like that episode 1 feel where we have all of our major characters together, because it does get just convoluted with all these little subplots and these little character moments. It's a lot to talk about. I wish I could do a 30-minute video, but I just can't because it's 2 a.m. I just got done watching it. My brain is sporadic. I've got all these theories, whatever, but I want to hear your guys' theory. So, what did you think of Volume 1? Yes, I agree. We need more Vecna. I forget the actor's name, but that actor is so good as Vecna, and I love the prosthetic and CGI they use on him. I love Vecna as a villain. He's very interesting. I love his power and just how menacing he is. But what is your death predictions? What is your predictions on the show? We have 4 more episodes. So episodes 5 through 7 is Christmas Day, and then obviously the series finale is on New Year's. I do plan to review Volume 2 and Volume 3. So what did you guys think? Have you watched it yet? Let me know down below. What is your death predictions? What is your story predictions? Be nice. Don't just spoil it right away. It just premiered, okay? So I know we're all very excited. Anyway, guys, you guys enjoy this review, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.